I'm Randy Ellis. I'm here today with Kyle Arthur of the Oklahoma Water Resources Board. The board has been working for several years now on a comprehensive water plan for the state's next 50 years. And they've got draft copies ready, and I wanted to talk with Kyle a little bit about the report. Can you summarize some of the major things that people will need to know about in the report?
Yeah, Randy, what we did really in two parts in this report was, one, we looked at supply, demand, and any shortages we feel that are going to exist in our supplies in order to meet those forecasted demands out to 2060 in a variety of water use sectors. Then also what we did is we had a robust public participation process over about 4 of those 5 years to have the public assist us in developing recommendations for the comprehensive water plan. Some of the things that come out of that are areas where we feel there could be potential shortages for water supply, what we've termed hotspots, but we did that analysis all across the state. But in some areas, clearly we have found where there could be greater shortages than other areas, and we determined that those are called hotspots, and we've done more detailed analysis on those.
Where are these hotspots we're talking about?
Most of them, Randy, are, not surprisingly, probably to most people, in the western part of the state, and are mostly driven by a gap that we forecast in 2060 demand terms in surface water supply availability.
People always want to know, do you think we'll need any more reservoirs to accomplish this?
I don't think there's an overwhelming demonstrable need for reservoirs in the state of Oklahoma to meet any particular area or gap. Are reservoirs a good option in certain areas? They are an option, but they're one of several options. Demand management, conservation practices could be one. Out-of-basin supplies could be another one. There's a variety of options that could be brought to the table to address an area's potential shortfall or need or shortage of water. Reservoirs are an option. But there are a lot of considerations about reservoir. There's certainly environmental considerations. There's also other reasons why reservoirs are built than just simply water supply. Recreational interests, so a city may want to evaluate, for example, the opportunity to build a reservoir, not just because they need additional supply, but they also may want to consider the recreational and economic impact aspects of the reservoir there. But from a pure water supply standpoint, which was the point of our exercise, I would say the answer is no. There's no overwhelming need that's been demonstrated for a large reservoir.
Well, one other fight seems to be looming on the horizon. The Texans have sued Oklahoma for access to water. They talk about needs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area being extensive. Does this report make any recommendations or any suggestions what we should do about Texas wanting our water?
Let me talk a little bit, great question. Let me talk a little bit about the role of the water plan in answering that question. First of all, the water plan is about water for Oklahomans and the needs of Oklahomans, period. Clearly that issue lingers out there, and what we believe the role of the water plan is to help people who ultimately will or won't make that decision, don't know how that'll ultimately go, but to make an informed decision. So what we wish to do then through the water plan, and what we believe we have done, is bring to bear information that'll help policymakers who will ultimately make that decision make an informed decision. So we did look at supply and demand all across the state, and we looked at areas where supply is greater than demand, certainly, and areas where supply is not good enough to meet demand. That was done the same way all across the state, on a permit basis and on a physical water available basis. What we also did is we addressed it through policy as well. What you'll see in there is a proposed definition for excess and surplus water. It's interesting to note in the legislation that authorizes us to be the state's water planning agency and to do a comprehensive water plan, dating back to the mid-70s. There are two things in particular. One, do a water plan and update it decennially every 10 years. Second thing is that in that plan should be a definition of excess and surplus water so as to protect the area of origin so that it'll never be water deficient. And we firmly believe that the origin, basin of origin, area of origin, however you wish to say it, should be protected. And we have developed what we believe is a more robust definition of that we've proposed in the water plan to help protect areas of origin if and when a decision was made to move water anywhere, either out of state or within the state.
Okay, we want to thank Mr. Arthur for coming by. The plan is not finalized yet, so people still have an opportunity if they want to voice their opinions to the Water Resources Board. And the report, as you might gather from what he was saying, is quite comprehensive. So you can also visit the Oklahoma Water Resources Board website if you want to learn more. Thank you.